What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stats Free Sports channel. Here today to bring you another college football prediction video, and this time it is on Kalen DeBoer and why I believe he will be the Alabama Crimson Tide's new head coach. But before we get started, guys, drop in the comment section down below who do you believe is the best option for Alabama. What coach, whether it be NFL, college, wherever, even in-house at Alabama. That's really been not talked about as much, but most people think it's going to be someone that's going to be a proven head coach. But comment down below, guys. Who do you believe is the best fit? Who do you believe deserves it? However you want to base it on. Who you believe will be the next coach in your opinion? But let's get into it, guys. So before I get into why Kalen DeBoer and how I end up coming to this pick for Alabama's new head coach, I gotta be honest with you guys. To me, he's not the best fit. Not saying he's not a great coach. I think he's one of the better coaches on this long or short list, however you view it. He's one of the better coaches on the list of Alabama on the consensus list. Everyone has the same 5 to 7 names: Dabo, Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart. What's the other person's name? Lane Kiffin. Some people say James Franklin. I don't know why. I'm not going nowhere near James Franklin. The Notre Dame coach, excuse me. A couple guys here and there as well. But my overall pick, if it was a free agent class, and I could just pick who I wanted to take over for him, it would be Dan Lanning from Oregon. He has SEC ties. He's young, 37. He's a great recruiter. He took over where Mario Cristobal was at in Oregon, and he upgraded that. Like times 2, times 3. He's a heck of a coach. He's intense. I love his interviews. I love how he gets his players riled up. But I just don't see him leaving Oregon. I just don't see him leaving Nike. I don't know if it's true or not. Forgive me. I've looked into it. I don't know if it's actually true, but I've seen it thrown out there. The report I've seen is it's a $20 million, $20 to $30 million buyout from Oregon, and then like $10 to $15 million buyout from Nike. I don't know if the Nike part is true. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've looked into it. I've seen yes. I've seen no. The numbers fluctuate, and then I've seen that's not even true. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. But even still, the way he has Oregon built right now, Oregon is in a great spot. I don't see him leaving Oregon. You have Dylan Moore. You have Dylan Gabriel, who I'm on record. I did a prediction video prior to Dylan Gabriel transferring. When he entered the portal, about a week before he even went to Oregon, I said him and Oregon is the perfect fit. I think he will have a similar impact, if not a better impact, than what Bo Nix had at Oregon during his 2 years there. I think he's that good. I think the fit is that good as well. You have Dante Moore as well for the future quarterback. If everything stands pat, he'll be the future quarterback after next season when Dylan Gabriel leaves, which he has to leave, and goes pro. Then you have Dante Moore, who's a super talented guy also. And they also have other recruits as well. Danny Lanning has gotten over the years. So Oregon's just in a great spot. I don't see him leaving. He's recruiting well all over the country. His teams are doing great. I don't see the point in leaving. He just haven't won the big games yet. But that's soon to come, in my opinion, for Dan Lanning. Steve Sarkisian, everything's good in Texas. $15 million buyout. You got Arch Manning, you got Quinn Ewers for one more year. You have talent. You're in Texas. Why go to Bama? I know you coached there for a while. You're the OC there. He did well there, but the fit is there, but I don't see him leaving Texas. Then you have Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss just have a great recruiting class. I don't see it slowing down that much. Well, a great transfer class, excuse me. They're recruiting pretty well. Lane makes sense, but Lane doesn't seem like an Alabama guy. I know he worked there, but as the head coach, I don't know. I really don't know. Then you go to Dabo. This is alma mater. He's spoken very, very highly of Bama over the years, but he's never really addressed if he would go there if Saban left or when Saban left. His buyout of $60 million. I'm not opposed to Dabo, but me personally, and not even no disrespectful or none personal, but I just don't really care for him as a coach. I never did. He was in the ACC. Like, yeah, Trevor had to shine in a weak ACC. I'm not really too big on him. Just nothing personal, nothing to it. Just I just don't really care for Dabo as a coach. Just me personally. There's none really against him. So that leaves Kalen DeBoer from Washington. And like I said earlier, well, I didn't say this earlier, but I meant to. He has no ties to the SEC, none at all. He rarely has any player from there. He has no coaching background in the SEC. So going there and replacing the GOAT is definitely a change of scenery, definitely a different atmosphere. But I think he can handle it. As I said earlier, I did say this earlier. He's a flat out good coach. He's a great coach. He coaches butt off on offense. He was at Fresno State as the OC. He was at Indiana as the OC. He was successful. He went to Fresno as the head coach. He was successful. And then you go to Washington. You bring in Penix, who was injury prone at Indiana. Flip him, and you and him both bring Washington to where they were this past season, 14-0. Penix was a Heisman runner-up. You got three good wide receivers in Polk, McMillan, and Roma Dunze. I love Polk as my favorite. I know he's not the best one out that group, but I like Polk as a pro a whole lot. You have Dylan Johnson, guys on defense. You have Trice. You have the two safeties who are pretty solid. You have a lot of good players in Washington that he helped groom to be big name. And they were already talented, but they went to the next level with him coming there. So DeBoer has a track record of being successful, having success, and being a great offensive mind. So I think going to Bama would kind of reassure that you're going to be in good hands. Some of these guys are deep. Some of the guys mentioned earlier, they're more defensive guys, which, like Dan Lanning, he's a defensive guy. Gives you the same feel as a young Nick Saban, hungry, aggressive, all about business, defensive mind. But I think if you're gonna go new, I feel it's the same as New England Patriots. If your GOAT Bill Belichick leaves, I don't want to see a defensive guy. I don't want to see Mike Vrabel. Go get a young offensive mind and be different. If it's a new day, it's a new day, and be different, be new. So I think Kalen DeBoer going to Alabama, to me, after everything's said and done, he's not the best option. He's not the most popular option, but I think he's the option that, to me, really brings in a new era. No SEC ties, no coaching tree in whatsoever in the SEC. Not really. He doesn't really recruit there either. But look at his time in Washington, or look at his recruiting trail in Washington. He doesn't have a stronghold in the Seattle area. Not really. So, and they're going to the Big Ten. They just got whooped on by Michigan. I think if Michigan would have, let me say that. I'm going to say that. But I think Michigan could have and should have, in my opinion, whooped on them. But they didn't. I think the game got close. But Washington did adjust and whatever. But I think Michigan stopped doing what they did the first couple drives. But that's just me. But they're going to the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan. The list goes on of big programs going there now. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I don't know if Washington can adjust right away to being a top-tier team, in that conference. So for me personally, I think DeBoer goes to Alabama. I think, as I say, I think Lanning is the top option. I think he stays. The Nike money's too good. He's already doing great there. Now I understand that all the memes and all the talk about Oregon is a great place, but it can't seem to keep a coach. From Chip Kelly to Mario Cristobal, I don't think Dan Lanning leaves. I really don't. And it might just be me falling for his talk, because he just spoke on it recently about how he's staying. He's there for the long haul, blah, blah, blah. And that's how coaches get players to stay. So I would have been one of them players who would have stayed, and then the coach would have left and took $100 million deal somewhere else. I would have definitely fell for that trick. But I really do think, though, I think Dan Lanning's a man of his word. I think he's staying for a little more longer, and also it's tough to be the man that replaces the GOAT. It really is tough. And if I'm Dan Lanning, if I'm some of these other guys, I'm gonna wait to see if the other person that takes it actually fails. So let know, and just being honest, if Kalen DeBoer or anyone else, James Franklin, whoever else you want to name, if they take that job first and they're the first one to replace the GOAT and Nick Saban, and then they have a terrible run at it, okay, expectations not so bad because you're not replacing Nick Saban. You're replacing what the bad spurt or the bad tenure of whatever coach took after Nick Saban, and you have to do better than what he did. So that's why I think Dan Lanning is young enough to say, okay, I can double back to Bama if whoever takes the job does mess up or just retires. Because Dabo isn't that young either. So how long does Dabo have to do it? If he might win one in his first couple years, Dabo might call it quits too. So we'll see how it happens. I like Kalen DeBoer from Washington, but like I said, he's not the favorite for me. But he's the one that makes the most logical sense if my headcanon is correct and Dan Lanning stays, Dabo stays, and Steve Sarkisian at Texas stays as well. I just see him being the one that's like, okay, Washington is great. I had a great 2-year stretch, but I don't see where else we go from here. And I think that makes the most sense for Washington, for DeBoer, and for Alabama. Someone new, someone different, someone fresh, and someone who's a great coach and a great offensive mind. So that's it for the video, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.